We're behind the Sozenji Temple in Osaka, where we'll find the grave of famous noblewoman Akechi Tama, or Lady Grazia. She was the daughter of Akechi Mitsuhide, a prominent member of the aristocratic Akechi family. Her husband was Hosokawa Todoki, embroiled in a war against Ishida Mitsunari, who tried to capture her at the Battle of Sakigahara and sway her husband Hosokawa to join him. She wanted to commit suicide, knowing that her capture meant a torturous death or the loss of her family's honor, but she was a Catholic, and suicide was strictly forbidden. According to legend, at her request, her retainer killed her with a longsword before he and the entire compound all committed seppuku while it burned down around them, a fire they themselves had lit. Her body was collected by an Italian Jesuit priest who came to Japan in 1570 at the invitation of Oda Nobunaga, the man Gracia's husband and father had served. I'll visit the castles and graves associated with this story later in the video. Grazia is buried next to Ashika Yoshinori, a shogun from long before her time. He was the 6th shogun in the Ashikaga shogunate, reigning until his assassination in 1441. In the 1430s, Ming China sent him a letter informing him they considered him the King of Japan, enabling him to prioritize trade. The island was still fractured, but this recognition from China increased his legitimacy and angered other claimants to the title. He was a strong, if unpopular, ruler, so in 1441 he was invited to the home of one of his friends and assassinated. As the assassin fled to his own territory, he decided to bury the shogun's head here. In the aftermath of the assassination, this rebellion was fought, and a distinguished governor of the Hosokawa clan declared the burial spot the family temple of both his clan and the Yoshinori clan. It's fitting, therefore, that Lady Hosokawa Gracia's grave flanks his own. Next to the grave of the shogun's head is that of Zen master Tokosu Kyorin, a descendant of the 8th head priest of this temple. He was the founder of the current temple, although the original temple was founded by Gyoki in the 8th century. This tomb is just before the previous 3 graves, the graves of Gracia, the shogun, and the Zen master. Here are buried 2 samurai of the Edo period, brothers, although Tojo was adopted into the Ando family. They were killed in 1715, attempting to avenge their younger brother's enemy. This monument was built by the 14th head priests. And this is the Google Maps view of the temple. This is Sakamoto Castle, built by the father of Lady Grazia to protect his lord, Oda Nobunaga. This was the samurai general Akechi Mitsuhide, who had gained Oda's trust by serving as a rear guard for his forces in 1570. A statue still exists of Gracia's father standing watch over Lake Biwa. For some years, her father was faithful to his master, the unifier of Japan. He served as a magistrate for temple holdings around Kyoto and helped to consolidate Oda's realm, but for some reason, when ordered to march on one of his own vassals, Mitsuhide shouted, "The enemy is that way," to his own men, pointing backwards to the forces of Oda Nobunaga. Historians still debate why he betrayed his master, but Mitsuhide clearly felt that it was needed for the country and was conflicted, for years, the unifier's most trusted advisor. Oda Nobunaga was killed in the siege, either by forces loyal to Lady Gracia's father or by his own hand. Mitsuhide naturally had to reward the forces still loyal to him, who were normally based here at Sakamoto Castle, so they were allowed to loot Oda's residence. This was only done to increase morale, especially given the context that many viewed him as a jilted unifier that needed to be dealt with. This brought dishonor to Mitsuhide, and soon rumors spread that he forced Oda to kill his own son before killing himself. Mitsuhide was the leader of this new coup, but sadly respected the master he'd just killed, and so refused to take his head as proof of the act. Had he done this, many of Oda's vassals would have joined him in the revolt. As acting commander of the army, his power was rapidly eroding, and Mitsuhide is often called the 13-day shogun. Soon, one of Oda's vassals, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, defeated and killed Mitsuhide, uniting Japan in the process. A statue of Toyotomi can be found outside of Osaka Castle. Akechi Mitsuhide counted on the fact that those loyal to Toyotomi were busy fighting with the Mori clan, and in fact, this was the vassal that Mitsuhide was supposed to go and help defend. As soon as he learned of the coup, Hideyoshi signed a peace treaty with the Mori clan and turned against Mitsuhide. This war was led from this castle on the shores of Lake Biwa outside of Kyoto by Lady Gracia's father. And it's times like this that I wonder what these historic figures would have thought looking out across the lake and seeing this. This is the tomb of Akechi Mitsuhide, or at least of his head. According to the legend, when he realized the tide had turned against him, he and those who remained turned back towards Sakamoto Castle. In this telling of the story, peasants ambushed his party, mortally wounding him in a bamboo forest. He committed seppuku, and one of his retainers struck off his head, burying it on a hill outside of town. In the mid-1770s, the memorial stone from atop his burial mound was relocated here to Kyoto. Finally, this is the grave of Toyotomi Hideyoshi, the great unifier of Japan. He had the unique distinction of coming from a peasant family, but had such great loyalty and power that his reign was recognized and he was inducted into the samurai class. He had to fight his former friend, Akechi Mitsuhide, who had taken the life of his former master, Oda Nobunaga, in a coup. He is also said to have refused the title of shogun because of his humble origins. He finished Oda's campaign to unify Japan and died at Fushimi Castle at the age of 61 or 63. His last words, spoken to his closest friends and officers, were, "I depend on you for everything. I have no other thoughts to leave behind. It's sad to part from you." At the base of the Great Unifier's tomb, which overlooks Kyoto, is the grave of his young grandson, Toyotomi Kunimatsu, through the Unifier's son, Toyotomi Hideyori. During the siege of Osaka Castle, Hideyori was defeated and died by his own blade, leaving 7-year-old Kunimatsu, his son. Captured by the Tokugawa's forces, the child was executed to prevent the Toyotomi family from continued rule. Interestingly, some rumors suggest that Kunimatsu survived and claim he escaped through a tunnel underneath the castle. According to these rumors, a decoy was executed, and Kunimatsu took the name Konoshita Nobuyoshi.
Jay, for a size reference, can you go stand in front of this stone?
The founder of a new noble clan.
Right behind you, look how big that is. Big rock.
If anyone knew the secret layout of the castle, it would have been members of the Toyotomi family like young Kunimatsu. After all, it was his grandfather who ordered the castle's construction.